Hi everybody, welcome to this tutorial. I decided to go a little bit deeper in the explanation of how the OB-XD synth works, and I must say this has started to grow on me, as the sound is really good when you program it correctly. And I have recorded previous videos to just give people a taste of what it sounds like, but I don't think I really have make justice to how the synth works. So hopefully this is what I'm going to do today. So I'm in AUM. I have connected just a MIDI controller via Bluetooth. So let me create now a simple audio channel. And let's add that audio channel, the OB-XD, which is the OB-X from Oberheim simulation with some additions. Okay, so let me also connect the keyboard, so the Akai, to the OB-XD audio unit, like so. Okay, I'm not going to use the keyboard inside AUM because the interface of this audio unit is quite small, so I prefer to actually maximize the screen to the entire size of the iPad so you have a better visibility. So let's check if it works first. Okay, I'm just playing some notes through my external MIDI controller. So let's kick off the explanation in more details of how the synth works. And what I will do, I will try also to create some preset of patches as I go along to make it more interesting. So first we have the volume here. No surprises there, so you can increase up and down the volume. If you double click on the control, it goes back to the default settings. We have a VAM settings here. By default, I understand the synth is a low note priority. If you click on these, it will make it work as a last note priority. And you will hear that effect or those changes, particularly when you go out of polyphony. As you know, it has 8 voice polyphony, as it is said here. If you click in here, you can change the voices that you use concurrently. Here you have 2 settings for the master tune. So you have a coarse one and a fine one. So let's try them. Okay, perfect. Now there is a legato set of parameters here. It's set to keep all, probably, which is the best for now. This is to do with how notes are re-triggered, particularly when you go out of polyphony, in terms of releasing some notes which exceeded polyphony in particular. You can set here to try to keep the level to filter and amplitude envelope, so try to keep everything, or just to the filter a sustain level, or the amplitude sustain level, or just to have a simple retrigger. Difficult to hear the changes here through headphones or a video, so just try them yourself, and I'm sure you will understand how they work after you played around with all the different settings. So let's keep it to keep all for now. Here we have portamento. So let's at the moment, if I move from one note to the other, there's no portamento. Of course, I can increase that. As you can hear, there's a glide towards the other note. let's double click to set it to 0. I have a setting here for unison, okay, which will stack all the 8 notes together, so that all the oscillators in sync. As you can hear, it makes the sound richer. You can change the spread of those oscillators, which is quite good if you want to create soul presets. Soul leads, of course, I meant. As you can hear, it's really quite good. A little bit more. Of course, it is unison, so you can have polyphonics. If we remove the unison, the spread will still works through the different voices, but it will not be as dramatic as you hear through a unison. In this case, I have 2 oscillators working, one here and one there, 1 and 2, and you can hear now the spread between the 2. And of course, the more voices you play together, the more spread you will hear. Here you can set the bending to plus or minus 2 and the same plus minus 12 if you want to use bending through a joysticks. Here you have modulation. Here you can set the rate. So let's try it. So let's enable the LFO on a sine wave. You can do a square and also sample and hold. Let's enable it as a sine wave. Let's increase the rate, and then what we do, we have to give it some depth, and this is the dial for how much depth we're going to give it to hit. We can give depth to oscillator number 1, 2, or to the filter. So let's try the oscillator 1 for more dramatic effect. Also to both oscillators. Or oscillator and also a filter. Maybe only one oscillator and a filter. Let's remove the oscillator. Let's increase the depth. And let's increase the rate. And let's decrease the cutoff. Here we go. You can hear the LFO modulating the frequency on the cutoff on the filter. Okay, and you can apply, of course, these to pulse width. You can apply the depth to a pulse width wave if you have that selected. So to oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. and this is quite interesting because, of course, you will have different tone or characters of the sound. So let's bring these to default. Next, here we have a section on oscillators. And this is where you can set the frequency for the first oscillator or the second oscillator. At the moment we have wave set as so for both oscillator here and here. You can also set them as a pulse here and there. So let's try. And if you do, of course, that, you can change the pulse width. You can have that changed by steps. And you can have it synchronized as well. course, you can decide how much mix you want for the first oscillator or for the second one. Let's go back to a SO wave. Okay, here you can decide how much noise you want to introduce. You can hear noise now. Here you can brighten up the sound. You can hear it's changing as we increase that. You can have a cross modulation. And the way it works is that oscillator 1 is modulating oscillator 2. Okay, you can have a pitch envelope. And you can detune the second oscillator, which can be useful again for lead sounds. Okay. Next we have a filter section. Here you can change the cutoff settings and your resonance settings or level. You can decide if to track keys in terms of frequency. Don't particularly like that, but there might be reasons why you want that or needs. You can set to high quality, which increase accuracy to high frequency. This is a multi filter, so by default it moves from low pass to high pass. Let's try. Okay, you can enable band pass if you like. And you can have also a 20 decibel version as well. And you can hear the difference. Here is where you set how much of the envelope for the filter you want to apply. Which you set over here. So the top is amp and the bottom is filter. So already nice sound. Let's increase the decay for the amplitude as well. Give it a bit of release. A little bit less sustain. More release. This is your traditional ADSR, so attack, decay, sustain, release, which we explained in many other videos. So how long the attack will stay on for, how long it will take to decay, the level it will be sustained, what will happen in terms of when you release the keys, how quickly the sound goes down to 0. You can hear already an interesting sound, just making some simple modifications. So let's, for example, go a bit low an octave. Again, another octave. So we already create a bass, which is quite good. Let's give it a bit more of an edge. And then let's apply a bit of LFO, sine wave. Just a little bit, and let's do that on the filter and a bit of depth. Okay, now you can start to hear it. The frequency is being modulated. So really cool. So let's make other changes, just to explain a little bit to get a better taste of the synth really. Let's increase the attack quite a bit on the amplitude and also on the filter. Let's go up of an octave. Let's apply more envelope. Let's apply more decay, bit sustain as well, more decay on the amplitude as well. Let's apply more attack, particularly on the filter. Let's go up an octave. Let's give it more release. Let the resonance a bit more cut off. A little bit more release on the filter. So when I release the keys, the change is not so dramatic. A bit more. Let's increase the depth on the filter. As you can hear, it's very easy to create a pad sound in this way. Other settings on the synth, you can change the vibrato rate through the modulation wheel here. You can also set velocity changes on the filter and the loudness envelope or amp envelope through these, so that when you press keys at different velocity, you hear the difference. Here for the 8 voices, you can set to be balanced left and right channel, or be just on the left channel or on the right channel, which will make interesting effects. So for example, if you put these on the left and these on the right, and you continue the same pattern like so, you will hear, if you have headphones, an interesting effect, as the sound will move left and right. Let's change the attack to 0. So now it starts to sound more like a type of key synth sound, but you can hear that it's moving left to right based on the settings here. Then you can apply a little bit of variation to the filter, the glide and the envelopes, which give more the feeling of an analog synth. So I like to add that more to the filter. This synth doesn't have menus to say presets, but what you can do in Oberheim, you can click here on the presets, and then you can click plus and you will save the current settings, and it will not accept these settings to be saved in as a plugin, but you can save them inside the AUM. And I've tried that already. So here, for example, bass 1, let's load that one and let's try. Great bass. Let's try this part that I first created. I created another pad here. So as you can hear, very great sound, very great preset you can create through the synth. So I recommend that you download it and use it. You can still use it actively inside AUM or another host. So that's it for today for the OB-X, the synth. I hope you enjoyed and see you next time. Bye.